is part 3 of analyzing, comparing, and contrasting Matthias de Stefano's vlog on matrix and patterns to the Law of One Tarot. So the first 2 are on the channel before this video. You can check them out. We are going to start where we ended last time. So we were talking about patterns, and are patterns good or bad? So Yo, the I, says, but there is a notion that patterns are bad. Why? The I am says, because patterns are based on fear and insecurity in the face of change, transformation. They ensure permanence. For this reason, when a person seeks to change in her life, she begins to identify the patterns and prevent her from doing so, and she is forced to fight against them to make her way to something new. It looks like a fly stuck in a spider's web. So we talked a little bit about this in the last vlog. Let me just show you the Law of One Tarot. So what that reminds me, transformation is here. Transformation is the Lover's card, the Gemini constellation. So before any sort of transformation occurs, and transformation occurs in thought. Sometimes transformation occurs like this, other times it takes time. What gets in the way is these people here, these 3 people that are sitting on the box: the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, and the conscious mind. So we have our yang, which is the heart chakra, which is the experience that we have here on 3D. Now, the experience, remember, is the truthful experience. The experience is not how you react in life, but when I say experience from the heart chakra in the Law of One Tarot, what I mean, the conscious experience, is having an experience through the subconscious mind, the high priestess, the potentiator, or the unconscious mind, the catalyst. And often the real experience we're having, the real I don't want to say emotions, because fear, anxiety, and all of that are real emotions, but those emotions are there due to the subconscious and unconscious mind. There's something that is deeper than what you just consciously are feeling or observing. So that's what the experience is. I know it's a little bit complicated. It's not your emotional reaction. It's the internal experience of your organs, of your body, of your systems, the whole your whole endocrine system. It's the experience the body, the cellular fluid is having in your body. So that's kind of what I mean by experience. Now, if this isn't in alignment, these 3 here, then you're not seeing the truth, which is the throat chakra, and it's very difficult to transform. And these 3 create patterns. The matrix, remember, is the mothership. The matrix, the patterns are all the lines, like if you think of a spider's web, that are in the matrix. So the matrix, let's say it's kind of unseen, but it holds everything together. So the matrix is always going to be there. It's observing constantly through the root chakra, depositing constantly. So these 3 here together, you could say 4, are creating the patterns until you become, with your heart, once again, the observer. You become consciousness as an observer, as the spider in the middle. So that is when you get to truth. And that is when transformation and sacred geometry is expanded and created clearly within your body. But remember, in order to expand like that, you have to contract. Contraction is a feminine trait. Contraction is very important. Everything that we materialize here on earth is through contraction. If your body, so our external energy, if it's really contracted with fear, negativity, that contraction of the energy that which we can't see, it's visualize like waves of energy, strands of energy. When they start getting complicated like a spider's web, and they start getting all woven, like, you know, a wire, when you get lazy, you don't turn the wire on an appliance properly, and it starts getting entangled, that's basically what happens in that entanglement within the energy, within your energy field, which you can't see, which is created mainly by these four. So if this is the matrix, it's these three working really. That is what you materialize. And what happens when you see truth or tell truth as the observer, the spider in the middle, is you open up. Remember, transformation is sacred geometry, in my opinion. So what happens is the contraction all of a sudden expands, and expanding and contracting are there's no good or bad, but this expansion of the energy, what it does is it pulls that matrix, like all the patterns that are intertwined in the matrix, it pulls them apart a little bit, which gives room for the sacred geometry, for the flower of life, the fruit of life. It gives room to create once again, for ideas to flow through. Okay, so, in other words, the bosses are there to defend us and ensure our lives, but they hold us back and prevent us from continuing to live in freedom if we seek to get out of them. Sorry, my throat, one sec. Okay, so say that again. In other words, the bosses are there to defend us and ensure our lives, but they hold us back and prevent us from continuing to live in freedom if we seek to get out of them. So why he's saying this, because in the last vlog, we talked about how the male energy is the patterns, and the male, the father, the patriarch, the patterns that are woven in this consciousness, the pendulums, we can even call them, swing more towards fear and just the lower emotions, guilt, shame. So that's what he's asking here. And the I Am says, because its mission is precisely to keep you stable without transformation, because there is a risk of dying. For this reason, the family, cultural, social, educational, religious, philosophical, and scientific systems will do everything possible to fight against whoever wants to break the patterns on which they are based. Yeah, that's so crazy, right? So these patterns here that are created in the matrix are so woven tightly in an ugly knot, and they're so difficult to get out of, to see your own truth, because our own truth is bombarded by non-truths given from society, government, culture, families, all of that. So it's very difficult to come inwards and be the significant self and really what your I am, what your real truth is. It's really difficult to see. How do we get out of the patterns? As we already said, you have to understand what they were there for in the first place. A pattern is a traveled path. You cannot retrace a path. You cannot unlearn an acquired knowledge or wisdom, but you can resignify them and give them a new meaning or purpose. The raison d'etre of a pattern is to ensure your survival through a way of acting. Therefore, show your life, your family, your body, your soul, that you can use another form, transcendental, to get the same. I need to look this up. I have to see what this is. So, raison. Sorry, guys. I usually don't really read through these before I do them. So, raison. There it is. Oh, no, I just want the meaning in English, please. Meaning. The most important reason or purpose for someone or something's existence. The most important reason or purpose for someone or something's existence. So, let's read this again. As we already said, you have to understand what they were there for in the first place. A pattern is a traveled path. You cannot retrace a path. You cannot unlearn an acquired knowledge or wisdom, but you can re-signify them and give them a new meaning or purpose. The raison d'etre. So remember, the raison d'etre is the most important reason or purpose for someone or something's existence. The raison d'etre of a pattern is to ensure your survival through a way of acting. Therefore, show your life, your family, your body, your soul that you can use another form of transcendental to get the same result. For example, there are many people who believe that throughout their history they have survived as a family thanks to the tolerance of the same partner all their lives, and so they tirelessly seek to find a partner to feel safe. However, when one becomes conscious, knows that another person is not needed to feel stability and security, so you have to show life that you can find that stability by loving freely without always having to look for a partner. It is a very general example, but common since you are mammals. So again, what the I Am is talking about here, I think, is that just these are patterns that we're taught. Like, you need to find a good partner to feel safe, to have stability and security in your life, to raise a family, to be loved. But in reality, once you get to your significant self, you know that we are just love, and you really do begin to love yourself. And when you begin to love yourself, you don't need another, you don't need someone to love you, because you have enough love to share with everybody. And even when you get to this significant self and your transformation keeps occurring, it starts happening faster and faster. And what I've noticed in my life now is that I see unity in people. Like, whenever I see people, even if they're doing something horrible or just being miserable, whatever, I always just, in my mind's eye, through this sacred transformation and significator, I always in my mind's eye just say namaste in my mind's eye. And the reason I say namaste is because I want to ensure that my love, that I don't react to how they're treating me, and I can see the light within them. And that's what namaste means. It's bowing, and it's I see the God within you no matter what. You get to that point when you really start using the significator and you're continually doing your transformation. It happens all day long. And I just want to say something here. The significator of the mind complex is the Hierophant. The body complex for the significator is the Hanged Man. This is really important because it's the body complex that we really have to start recognizing. It's the organs within your body that you have to cherish, and you really have to start looking at what you're putting into your body. How hydrated are you? Are your minerals right in your body? The reason I say that is because I know this isn't discussed a lot or talked about, but in my opinion, I believe the Hanged Man is the true binding of the yin and yang. And the reason I think this is just through experience with the cards, with the tarot cards, but also I believe it is the balance and the surrender to complete yin and yang and absolute equality. And these words don't even feel right when I say them. I don't mean equality. I mean, like, there's no difference between the yin and yang. You just see everything as one. I believe this is the Hanged Man because if you look here, the only other card is the High Priestess that has pillars, and in the High Priestess you see very clearly that there is yin and yang on this card. There's the darkness and the shadow, whereas when you look at the Hanged Man, he's got the the two poles, but there's grapes that are around the poles, and he's hanging upside down. So his brain, his mind, which is yang, his mind is now pointing towards Mother Nature, as are his two hands in Namaste, and his feet, the soles of his feet, which is where we ground from, are pointing to the divine. That's just a side little, that's just my opinion. Always, please, whatever you think when you do this, or if you've purchased my workbook and you're working in it and something clicks to you, please comment below. All right, so what's next here? That was really cool. Yes, I understand it's something very typical of the species. And why do we think the patterns is opposite to that pattern is opposite to matrix? The I Am says, well, if a pattern is a line, the matrix is the whole weave of lines. The pattern marks a path to where to go, and the matrix wraps in all directions with nowhere to go. That's yin energy. That's yin. That's the womb. I wish this wasn't in the way. I'm gonna try and get. I have one here somewhere, but I want you guys to look at the. I don't know why I'm pulled towards the spirit complex of the. Where are my cards? I'm pulled towards the spirit complex of the matrix. I just want to show you something. So when I read that little bit here, I thought of this here, the spirit complex. So let's go back. I don't know why I thought of this, but let's go back here and just read it again. Well, if a pattern is a line, the matrix is the whole weave of lines. The pattern marks a path to where to go, and the matrix wraps in all directions with nowhere to go. These two concepts have something in common in the human notion. Everyone wants to get rid of mom and dad. They see the matrix as a prison and the patterns as a mandate. Both prevent free action. You are determined by what mom and dad have done. Okay, I see why. The matrix is the generating network. It's not a trap. It is the vibration that connects everything and crosses all existence. It is eternity. Okay, I think why I was drawn to the spirit complex, if you look at this dragon, there's like shackles, there's a staff that it's holding. This guy looks trapped. These guys looked trapped. Everybody looks trapped. And I think I thought of this card because of this part. So here, let's read this again. Well, if a pattern is a line, the matrix is the whole weave of lines. The pattern marks a path to where to go. The matrix wraps in all directions with nowhere to go. I think this is so we can't see the matrix, right? But I think this is what the matrix looks like now that I'm reading this again. Well, if a pattern is a line, so if the pattern is something that, is tangible, let's just say it's tangible, we can see a spider's web. So if this is all of these patterns, the matrix is the whole weave of lines. The pattern marks a path to go where, to where to go, and the matrix wraps in all directions with nowhere to go. Oh my God, I think this is the spirit complex. This is talking about the feminine, the womb, and that is what the matrix, just for us, our brain always needs to use the senses to understand things. I think that's what this card is about. It is the matrix, the actual matrix played out. We can't see the matrix, remember, we can only see the patterns. These two concepts have something in common in the human notion. Everyone wants to get rid of mom and dad. They said they see the matrix as a prison and the patterns as a mandate. See? Prison. Both prevent free action. Both the matrix and the patterns prevent free action. You are determined by what mom and dad have done. The matrix is the generating network. It's not a trap. It is the vibration that connects everything and crosses all existence. It is eternity. And here we have the matrix. So the mind complex of the matrix is the magician. You see the box in there. The body complex of the matrix is the justice card. And what always stands out of the justice card to me is obviously the scales. And another thing is this woman is blindfolded. We'll talk about that another time though. And now though, as I read this vlog, the spirit complex of the matrix is the feminine, I think. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think down below, and we will continue our reading tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye.